No.
On this day, 5 reckless young people decided to play a spirit summoning game to encounter ghosts. They were the bespectacled man Rubbish, Ming, Annie, Big B, and Biggie. The game began with filling a basin with tap water. Then one by one, they cut their fingers with a small knife and dripped their blood into the water. When it came time for Ming to bleed, he hesitated. He has a pair of yin-yang eyes that could see ghosts. So, instead of participating, Ming hid aside and read a book. After everyone drank the blood-mixed water, Rubbish took out a bottle of corpse oil. When he lit the corpse oil, a foul smell filled the air. Rubbish insisted that they needed to inhale more of the burning corpse oil's fumes to attract ghosts. Soon after, as the 4 held hands, Rubbish fearfully claimed to see a female ghost in red. Upon hearing this, Ming also noticed a female ghost in the room at the same time, but to him, the ghost was wearing blue. Ming, through his spiritual eyes, confirmed that there were indeed ghosts present. He immediately stepped forward to stop them from playing further. However, his friends dismissed Ming as a spoilsport. At this moment, Rubbish excused himself to use the restroom, cursing under his breath. But he returned in tears after just a few seconds, claiming there was a ghost in the restroom. Everyone rushed to check, but found no one there. Yet, when Ming lifted the curtain, they suddenly found Rubbish lying dead in the bathtub. Rubbish was actually dead. But who was the Rubbish that had just returned from the restroom? Fear spread through the group. Suddenly, soft footsteps echoed from the restroom door. A silhouette appeared in the hallway. As the figure emerged, they were shocked to see that it was indeed Rubbish. They turned to check the body in the bathtub, but it had vanished. Rubbish at the restroom door was gone too. In sheer panic, they hurried to the hall where they found Rubbish dead on the floor. His expression was extremely terrifying, as if he had been claimed by a viscous ghost. After experiencing this supernatural event, Ming told his sister, Sissy, about the whole process. He believes that there is definitely a problem with the corpse oil. However, as a journalist, Sissy did not believe in ghosts in this world. Even Jack, her fiancé, thought Ming was being extreme. Sissy advised Ming not to indulge in wild fantasies. After the police investigation is over, she promised to give the result to Ming. After Ming left the office, Sissy received a videotape. It played horror content, sent by FAMO, who had been studying the supernatural and was a potential suitor for Sissy. So Sissy hoped FAMO could bring some help. Although Sissy was about to marry Jack, FAMO decided to talk to Ming out of respect for Sissy. It was evening when Ming came to the hospital to visit his girlfriend, Annie. Annie had been hospitalized due to the incident with Rubbish. She had not fully recovered yet and kept saying there were ghosts in the hospital restroom. Ming comforted Annie, saying it was just a dream. But in a moment, Ming saw a pair of ghostly hands with his spiritual eyes. Ming didn't dare delay. The next day he sought help from FAMO. FAMO said that the haunting was likely related to that bottle of corpse oil. It must have been the fumes from burning corpse oil that caused a connection between humans and ghostly spirits, leading to the sight of ghosts. However, Ming objected, because Rubbish mentioned a ghost in red, but what he saw with his spiritual eyes was a ghost in blue. A few days later, everything seemed to have returned to normal. Ming went to the bar to have drinks with his girlfriend, Annie. Annie said her health had basically recovered. However, the girl, Biggie, next to her, was acting strangely. She said her boyfriend Big B had fallen ill recently, and she herself felt cold, wearing thick cotton clothes every day. At this time, Biggie said she needed to use the restroom. As Biggie turned, Ming noticed the blue-clothed female ghost was following Biggie's back. On the other side, Big B at home also felt very cold all over. But suddenly, he heard someone calling him, so he went to the churchyard. He saw Biggie standing on the churchyard waving at him. Big B walked towards Biggie in a bizarre manner, didn't realize he was already on the edge of the high-rise building. So Big B fell to his death. The next day, when Ming learned about Big B's fall from Sissy, he became increasingly anxious. 2 out of the 5 people had already died. There was absolutely no time to delay the investigation. So, according to FAMO's advice, Ming quickly went to Rubbish's home to investigate the origin of the corpse oil. He was tripped by something as soon as he arrived at Rubbish's home. Upon getting up and seeing that it was the ghost of Rubbish, Ming didn't have time to ask about the origin of the corpse oil. The ghost of Rubbish urged Ming to leave quickly. It was obvious that he was coerced by something. Ming wanted to know more. But the next second, 2 hands reached out from the room and grabbed Rubbish. Supernatural events happened one after another. Annie's mother sought an exorcist to help her daughter. Fortunately, no ghostly spirit was attached to Annie, so she showed no reaction to the exorcist's charms. However, the exorcist said there was something unclean in Annie's home, so he would return in 7 days to perform another ritual. On the other side, Biggie was not so fortunate. She was at home, singing while braiding hemp rope, and then she went to her mother's side and strangled her to death with the rope. Then, Biggie sharpened a knife, seemingly preparing to do something ominous. When Ming and Annie arrived at Biggie's home, the tragedy had occurred. The fruit knife was stuck in Biggie's throat, and she became the third victim. In just a few days, 4 people had died. Sissy immediately sought out FAMO for the situation. FAMO said he would definitely resolve this matter. And he was also concerned that the next one to have an accident might be Ming's girlfriend, Annie. After their communication, Sissy expressed her worries to Jack. However, Jack did not believe in ghosts in this world at all. He comforted Sissy and then went to the restroom to wash his face. During the washing, Jack drank some water, and at that moment, a ghostly shadow quickly passed. This frightened Jack terribly. After learning about this, FAMO immediately looked through a lot of information. He believed that Ming and Jack had seen real ghosts, while Rubbish had only just pretended to see a ghost. It's important to know that Jack did not participate in the spirit summoning game, so the corpse oil is not the key. After some investigation, FAMO found clues related to Huangshan Village. So Ming immediately set off to this village with a mission. Huangshan Village was an unusually eerie place, dilapidated and very desolate, without a single living soul. Ming slowly walked into a shrine in the village and saw a large spirit tablet with the words Yanmei on it. In an instant, the earth that was filled with many ghosts. Ming was terrified and quickly ran out of the village to meet FAMO at a restaurant, where an old man, overhearing their conversation, told them a story. It turned out that in 3 days, Huangshan Village had 6 consecutive deaths. If it weren't for a man named Li Keng who protected everyone with a talisman, the entire village would have perished. Ming and FAMO decided to find Li Keng immediately. But before that, Ming went to visit his girlfriend, Annie. However, he found her home filled with talism papers, and Annie's mental state was not quite normal, as if a ghost had taken control of her body. Moreover, Annie said she only had 3 days to live. Seeing this, Ming felt helpless. He wanted to save Annie but was frightened by the evil ghosts that appeared. So Ming first went with FAMO to investigate Li Keng. After some searching, they found Li Keng, who was now an old man with white hair. Li Keng knew they had come to ask about Yanmei and immediately drove them away. However, Ming did not give up at all. So the next day, when Li Keng was burning paper money for Yanmei, Ming came again. When Li Keng learned that Yanmei had killed 3 more people, he, filled with grief, told Ming the truth. It turned out that Yanmei was a famous Cantonese opera singer back then, beautiful and kind-hearted. Li Keng had been learning to sing opera with Yanmei since he was a child. Yanmei was very fond of this clever child. One day, Yanmei confided in Li Keng about her secret affair, that she was secretly selling her body to make money because her husband was deeply in debt with opium. But Yanmei was caught not long after she started this, and her husband, a village school teacher, did nothing. While to protect his reputation, Yanmei never related this matter to her husband in any way. Subsequently, the villagers felt that she had brought shame to the entire village and, in their anger, beat Yanmei to death. Li Keng, who witnessed the execution from a distance, also learned the truth that Yanmei's husband had framed her. Her husband had taken a liking to a wealthy lady from the province. To completely get rid of Yanmei while preserving his own good reputation and gaining everyone's sympathy, the man fabricated the excuse of owing money due to opium use to deceive his wife into selling her body, and finally had the villagers beat Yanmei to death, so that the man could be with the wealthy lady from the province in a seemingly legitimate manner. He told the dying Yanmei about the conspiracy, and thus after her death, filled with resentment, she used the power of her vengeful spirit to kill 60 people in the village in 3 days. Li Keng then prepared to leave the village and follow other opera troupes to live. Before departing, he placed a bracelet that Yanmei had given him on Yanmei's body, which finally resolved her hatred. Logically, Yanmei should not have been killing people, so there must be something that happened recently. Li Keng decided to take Ming to find Yanmei's grave. Sure enough, a construction team was developing nearby, and Yanmei's remains had vanished. As Ming and Li Keng were about to leave, they heard the sound of opera singing from behind them. Ming turned to see Yanmei appearing in a pond. On the other side, FAMO also made a discovery at Rubbish's home. The tap water they used during the spirit summoning game came from that pond. Now the truth was out. It was because the 5 drank the contaminated tap water that connected them with Yanmei's resentment, causing hallucinations and leading to suicide. As soon as Ming returned home, he received a distress call from Annie's mother. It turned out Annie was having hallucinations, frantically stuffing pills into her mouth, appearing very manic. So Ming had to take Annie to the hospital first. At the same time, Li Keng also encountered a terrifying event when he returned home. He was walking on the street when he heard Yanmei's voice from the sky. Li Keng looked up and a steel pipe fell from the sky, impaling him on the spot. It appears that Yanmei did not like Li Keng revealing her secrets, so she killed him. As for Jack, he also encountered something strange. When he was using the restroom, he saw a mass of hair in the toilet bowl. When he sat on the toilet, a terrifying hand reached out from inside the bowl. Even the image of Yanmei crawling towards him appeared. The hallucination nearly drove Jack mad. So he picked up a glass of tap water and tried to force Sissy to drink it. Although Ming and FAMO broke in just in time, Sissy had already drunk the tap water. Worried that the two might harm each other under the influence of hallucinations, Ming tied them up with a rope. Then Ming and FAMO went to the pond where Yanmei was believed to be. Ming jumped into the pond without hesitation, intending to retrieve the remains and give Yanmei a proper burial. FAMO said that this was the only way to resolve Yanmei's resentment. However, as soon as Ming jumped into the water, he entered an unfamiliar illusory world. At this time, the sound of opera suddenly started. Ming saw a procession approaching. One person in the procession slowly lifted their head, and to Ming's horror, they looked exactly like him. Ming fell to the ground in fear. He then noticed Yanmei's remains beside him, so he put the bracelet he had been just found on Yanmei's hand. As a result, Yanmei suddenly grabbed him in a deadly grip. Soon, Ming floated back up to the surface, but unfortunately he was now dead. FAMO, seeing this scene, had no time to mourn. He immediately went home to check on Sissy. FAMO kept urging Yanmei to stop, trying to make her understand that not everyone had wronged her. Do not harm innocent people's lives, but the response was just a room full of anomalies. In order to communicate with Yanmei and save Sissy, he finally resolutely drank the tap water in front of him. Then he saw the most terrifying ghost. Sissy asked FAMO why he would foolishly drink the tap water. FAMO just told Sissy that everything was just an illusion and tried to guide her to overcome her urges the water. However, at that moment, Sissy turned into Yanmei before FAMO's eyes. Despite his fear, FAMO overcame it and pulled Sissy into his arms. Such a warm and affectionate embrace instantly left Yanmei at a loss. In a short while, Sissy's appearance returned to normal, and Yanmei simply said that he truly loved her before disappearing from the room. But does the story really end like this? When Jack woke up from his coma and saw his girlfriend embracing FAMO, he was instantly excited. Then the next second, a hand rested on his shoulder.